Welcome back, Lisa Renna. I've missed you so much since your family packed their bags, loaded them in your mouth, and skipped town.
And does it match the blood you found inside Mr. Simpson's Bronco?
Yes, it's all from the same individual.
Then you mean all this time we could have been friends?
Judges your score.
Tell us what you don't like about yourself.
I'd like to go to Dreamland.
I'll take you there.
Who are you?
I'm Constance Langdon, and this is my fucking house.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ryan Murphy Project, a podcast where we take an in-depth look at the life and career of one of TV's most prolific showrunners. I'm Eric.
And I am Andrew.
Hey Andrew.
Hey. Okay, so you know what I actually noticed the other day is when I'm at the beginning of the intro for the episodes, I'm always like, I'm excited. Because I guess I am generally like excited to do
And
this
even
and
sometimes
to
when you're
talk
not,
about
you're like, I'm excited.
it like actually doesn't mean anything. But I'm like, all right, stop saying that, bitch.
We're gonna say we're excited and things are iconic a lot on this show. So just fucking strap in and get used to it, all right?
We do say that a lot. It's just like it's iconic. We're labeling it, you know. It's like...
We're going back to McKinley this week. It's still our month of American Horror Story and Glee. So we are hitting up Glee Season 1, Episode 3 today, entitled Acafellas. You excited for that?
Oh, what, to talk about Acafellas?
Sure.
It was a messy episode, I think.
Yeah? I was reading one review, and somebody said that it was possibly better than the pilot.
Oh, I read a review, and they were like, it makes sense now that we only got 2 episodes as a screener for this, because this episode's messy. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
But it's very Glee at the same time. But imagine this being your first time watching the 3rd episode. You're like, huh.
Yeah.
Like, this is, they're juggling a lot. They're taking some turns.
Yeah, I also noticed the kids weren't in it that much.
No, I know. No.
Considering, future seasons, it's really an adult episode. Which, that's not what I signed up for.
I thought about that. I'm like, this is a really shoe-heavy episode.
Yeah. Too much shoe.
Okay. Yeah. This shoe is too big. All right?
Before we get into it, though, we actually have some Ryan Murphy news. And we actually have a lot of Ryan Murphy news because we've been slipping. Because, these episodes are coming out, a month and a half-ish after we recorded them. So we have a lot to catch up on. Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, tell me what you got.
I want to make a bulletin, a Ryan Murphy bulletin sound effect.
Ding 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 ding, and then
at the end it sounds it's like a quote from him, something really mundane.
That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny.
I was very close with my grandmother, and at one point she pulled me aside and she said, "I just want to tell you something." And she said, "You're different, and that's why you're the most special out of all of these kids to me. What are 3 things that you're interested in, and you and I are gonna do those things?" And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yes, what are they?" And I said, "Dracula, Barbra Streisand, and skincare."
All right, so first, let's get into some announcements that have been made. The Boys in the Band, which is a musical, or is it a play? I forget.
Oh, I thought it was a musical, but
yeah, that's coming out on Netflix on September 30th. So we will be checking that out. I don't know when. Yeah. We have no idea. But look for The Boys in the Band on September 30th on Netflix.
So that's just a movie? That's a movie, you said, right?
That's a movie based on a play or a musical.
Okay. Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. I should have wrote more detailed notes.
He got a really crazy cast for that, too.
Yeah, it's a bunch of gays.
Yeah.
It's basically the Normal Heart sequel, but a different gay white man story, right?
I didn't actually research it because I was like, okay.
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, oh, okay, Boys in the Band.
Yeah,
I
feel never.
Like you would, because
you would
maybe
think,
it
right?
is a play, because if it was a musical, you would be like, yeah.
That's true, but either way, I just really don't think I care.
Yeah, I don't actually either. So,
but we'll watch it. We'll see what it's about.
Let's see. We might come out of that being like, that shit was so good.
Yeah. He also made an announcement that The Prom, another Netflix show, and I know that this one's a musical because it was somewhat popular on Broadway. But The Prom, starring Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, James Corden, is coming out around Christmas, I think it said. Mm-hmm. So that one I'm more excited about, because that one's about I think it's about a same-sex couple not being allowed to go to prom.
Oh, okay.
I think it revolves around that storyline. So I'm excited to see that one.
Who's in that cast again?
Meryl Streep.
I actually
heard of her.
This is the first time I heard about this. Really, I'm like, wait, did I miss this?
Didn't you share the photo on our Instagram?
Oh, so that's the cast I was talking about. Okay, sorry, I'm mixing them up. I'm sorry, I'm high. Okay.
Yeah, Meryl Streep, James Corden, Nicole Kidman, amongst others. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that one, even though I never listen to that soundtrack. Usually, I will listen to soundtracks before I see them.
Okay.
But we'll see.
That's the one I'm excited for too.
We know Meryl Streep loves a fucking good musical once in a while.
This isn't the first time he has worked with her, right? No, he's worked with her daughter.
Yeah, he's worked with Maggie Gummer. Is that her name? I pulled that out of the air. I think that's it.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was great.
Yeah, I think she has 2 daughters that are actors. But yeah, he worked with her in Freak Show, right?
Freak Show, and she was like a guest appearance in Coven.
Oh, okay.
During
yeah. But I don't think he's worked with her.
It seems like he could, not that Meryl will ever be in someone's house or whatever, but it seems like he would work with her at least, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure this is something that's been on his bucket list.
Oh, do you think that this is an Oscar bait movie?
The Prom? Nah. I mean, maybe Golden Globe.
Okay. Because December release, that cast.
Maybe Golden. I don't think, it's no Cats,
Ooh. Don't invoke cats.
And then, of course, Ratchet's coming out on September 18th. We will be covering that directly after our 4 weeks of Glee and American Horror Story that we're in right now. And there's been some more set photos. They're trickling out as we get closer to the release. So we're seeing a lot of cool shots. I'm just excited for this. I mean, this looks like, obviously, he's done this era in Hollywood. He's done this era in American Horror Story. He's done this era in Feud. So I'm excited to see this take on it because it's a whole different story, Yeah. It's not about Hollywood. It's not about Los Angeles.
Thank God. You grew up in Indiana, Ryan.
Yeah. Let me see some fucking corn.
It seems like Asylum, American Horror Story Asylum, but stylish, colorful, you know, and that really is appealing to me. I'm like so excited for that. I hope it's gonna fuck me up.
Yeah, me too.
Be scary and really thinking about it.
But before that, we're gonna watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, obviously the inspiration for this series, and we discussed it.
Yeah, we decided that.
You want to tell them what we're doing?
Drum roll, please. Oh, wait, I can't do it if I'm saying it. So we're going to do a commentary episode on that.
Yeah, we're going to do a full-on watch-along episode. So you can turn on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and watch with us as we watch it together for the first time.
I promise you, I know nothing about this.
I know that it takes place in an asylum. I know Jack Nicholson is in it. I know that Nurse Ratched won the Oscar for this role.
Okay, wow, all right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. I almost, because I'm trying to go into this blind because it's such an old, well-known movie. But I also saved a YouTube video on Nurse Ratched's character for later.
Oh, okay, good. This is how we get our knowledge.
This is it. Oh, yeah, of course.
Share videos with us. Let's see some articles. Tell us what we're missing so we can fill in the gaps.
We do research.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I do, and I have time.
Yeah. And then the final announcement as far as premieres go is American Horror Story Season 10 is officially hitting production in October. which is something we talked about. I said that they were going to be one of the big productions to pick up, so they might still do it this year. And they are. So they're going to start production in October.
Did he allude to that in his post about this?
About what?
About them like being able. I kind of got the feeling that they were going to release episodes in October, so it's just production.
I think production because he said that he needs a certain weather type to do this show.
Oh, so it could very easily be.
So it has to, I think, be fall or spring. But yeah, because they were going to start shooting in March.
In P-Town, yeah. Okay, I remember all this now.
Yeah. So look for season 10. I don't know if they're going to wait again a year, like it's a fall show. But at least they're going to start filming soon, next month.
People just rely on Ryan for content.
Yeah.
You know, like Netflix is like, we have all this Ryan Murphy content. We're going to release it, you know?
Yeah.
And same thing with FX. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because we have American Horror Stories coming. We don't know when they're going to start filming that or what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
I would love to write on a season of American Horror Stories.
I'm really into that mini anthology thing.
Yeah.
As weird as that format is.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get into that when that premieres, and we'll keep you update on when that should hit. That's going to be on Hulu, right?
What America? Oh yes. Because FX and Hulu have a deal.
Yeah. So now we have to deal with fucking 14 different networks on these shows. Yeah,
I know.
And now let's get into some gayer news in the Ryan Murphy world.
And that was your news bulletin.
And I'm like a 14-year-old girl. Like, I love pop music. I get very excited when the new Justin Bieber song comes on.
Wait, we were not done yet?
No, we're not done yet.
Okay. Oh, wow. We're doing a thing with the news bulletin. You'll figure it out later. But that's what I'm going to say at the end.
Okay. Let's throw... I have 3 more things, okay? 1, huge congratulations to our girl Niecy Nash, Denise Hemphill.
Oh, my God. I know.
Not only did she come out, but she came out by getting married to another woman.
Yeah. I know. My heart was like filled with joy because of that.
Yeah.
I guess like because it was a surprise, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like surprised. I guess whatever. No one has like clocked her over the years.
Yeah.
Unlike like Queen Latifah or like Missy Elliott, like.
Yeah.
So it just was like a real big surprise, and she's just like so happy and like didn't care. And
Yep.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was just like such a win. That's how I felt. Like I was like, God, it's like the one good news I heard all day.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that was like, I'm definitely coming out at my wedding now. Like what a power move to come out at your wedding.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm getting married this weekend. To who?
That is a power move. Find out. You're right. I loved it.
So, big ups to Niecy, to Denise.
Congrats.
And another big congrats to Ryan Murphy. Probably the some of the bigger news of this episode, since this show is about him. He just welcomed his 3rd child to the world. We mentioned it back in the a few episodes ago that he was getting ready to have one, and he did. So now he has 3 children with him and his husband, David. Does that sound right?
I think so. I think David might be okay.
It might be okay. Yeah, so congrats to the happy family. It's cute, adorable. Although his kids do look like the children from American Horror Story Hotel. Little blonde children that live in the arcade.
Yeah.
But, big shout out to him and congratulations. And then our last piece of news has nothing to do with Ryan, really. But I just want to shout us out because our Pose episode, I don't know if they actually listened to it or not.
Oh, yeah.
But a post got liked by Dominique Jackson, MJ Rodriguez, and Stephen Canals, the 3, mothers of Pose.
I was gagged everywhere. I was gasping everywhere. I was like, that's crazy. That's so nice. That was really cool. And then because it was like one after the other. I was like,
I hope they actually listened to the post that they liked.
Yeah, me too.
Because, then they see we're really in it. We're here for them, We're supporting the cause.
We're in it. I think our Pose episode was our best so far.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I'm glad you're saying there's 5 episodes in between that.
Okay. In the past, it was the best. This one probably is the best.
This is gonna top it.
This is actually the best one.
All right, so that's enough of the news for this episode.
All right, here I go. And that was your news bulletin.
What is your least favorite season of American Horror Story?
Probably season 4, Freak Show, because it was so hard for me to make.
Let's get into the episode. Acapellas was written by Brad, Ryan, and Ian, and it was directed by John Scott, who is a television director that's done a bunch of different shows. So we open on this episode with Will telling his parents that Terry is pregnant. Obviously, Terry's a little hesitant because we know that she's not actually pregnant, and she wasn't expecting a big announcement. But yeah, Will tells his parents, and they have a little cute moment with that.
Terry darts her eyes real fast.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm just like, oh gosh, she's not even right now. But then the parents do shade Terry in the beginning. They're like, since when did you start cooking? And I was like, okay.
She's trying to be a kept woman now.
I know. Well, the parents are obviously excited about this.
Yeah.
Just like me.
Yeah. And I should say Will's father is played by Victor Garber, very famous actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he was in Mad Men?
I don't think he was in Mad Men.
He just seems like I just always have seen his face.
Yeah.
But I don't know who he is. And I also think that I would be more attracted to him because he's like an older man with white hair.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not. The guy from Mad Men I am, that boss, I'm like really into.
Oh, yeah.
Does he pop up in later seasons? I don't feel like
I don't remember because honestly, I was thinking about this a while ago. I was like, do we ever see Will's parents? And obviously, yes, we do now. But I don't remember them coming back. Maybe this first season, but I don't know.
All I really remember is like Emma's parents because they're really hard on her and they're also gingers.
Yeah, they come
but
back a few times.
I don't remember Will's.
Yeah.
Well, Will's talking to Victor Garber, and he admits that he's terrified to have the kid.
Yeah.
But he's also really excited for it. And the father's like, well, yeah, of course, you gotta be. And then he says an interesting line in this conversation that you and I were talking about earlier. He says that boys learn confidence from their fathers.
Yeah.
How did they get there?
Because basically he says you just have to kind of not fake your way through it, but you learn as you go. You just have to be confident enough to know that you're going to be a father that makes the right choices.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment too.
He says being a man and a father is about having guts.
Ooh, interesting.
Victor says that he didn't have the guts to become a lawyer and went into insurance. And, we already know that Will did the exact opposite and went after his dream to be a teacher instead of going into insurance. So maybe Will does have the guts.
Yeah, they're really planting the seeds for a maybe later payoff.
This was this was the first episode I noticed where everything was very thematic with all the storylines. All the storylines revolved around confidence and guts.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that right away. I put it in my notes. Theme confidence.
Yeah, they should have made that the title of the episode.
There's a lot of I don't know, male on male relationships here, non-gay. Like it's just like, and then I'm like, oh, it's called Acapellas.
Yeah.
Duh. But I'm like, oh, this is a surprising turn.
Yeah. So that scene basically ends with just Will hopefully being inspired enough to find the confidence to be the father that he wants to be.
Just like his dad.
Just like his papa.
Speaking of confidence, Will is confidently teaching the Glee Club how to dance.
Yes.
And they're not in our next scene. And Rachel and basically the whole crowd is not into his funny dance moves.
Yeah.
This is also of note. The Cheerios are there now. They're in there. They're in the Glee Club. So I was like, oh, okay. I almost forgot about that. They're infiltrating.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're trying to sow some seeds of doubt within the club because they see how shitty a choreographer Will is, is he? And they try to get Rachel to get a choreographer that coaches Vocal Adrenaline, their rivals, so that they can improve their dance skills, and she has to convince Will to do that. So they basically put her out on the front lines to take the bullet for the team and try to force Will to get this choreographer. So he's feeling a little attacked in the room because they're cutting down his teaching skills and his dancing skills. Yeah. And then the conversation kind of turns to, after they say they want to get to Dakota Stanley, Will says something about performing, and they're like, "Did you ever perform in front of people, Will?"
Quinn specifically says, she's like, "Did you ever perform after high school?" You know? And that's kind of like, and that kind of alludes to his conversation that he just talked to with his father too. Because like, he became a teacher, but his dream was performing. Yeah. So.
And then we pre-lap this scene with Will saying he wanted to, but he never got the chance. And we see that he's talking to Emma now.
Yeah, and Will's basically just like, which is so inappropriate. Like, fuck Will for doing this for Emma because he just tried to kiss this bitch.
Yeah, but
like
they both seem like this is like a very what's the word I'm looking for? They both know what they're doing. They're both at fault here at this point, I think. They both are. It's a codependent relationship, based in just like them each wanting each other.
Sure. Okay. I see what you're saying. They're like, we're Ross and Rachel.
Yeah.
Wink at you. We know that we're doing that, and we know that we're in love.
Yeah. Yep.
But
well, they won't
because Emma totally stands for. She's like, well, now I'm dating Ken.
Yeah.
the football coach.
And she's really trying to force this idea that she's happy about it, but really, you clearly tell she's not.
And at the end of the scene, confidence is again brought up. And then we cut to a title card. But Eric, after the title card, were you expecting this? Because in the teacher's lounge sits the one and only Sandy.
So here's the thing. So I told you I wanted to do this episode because I wanted to move this episode, and we were going to record out of order because I wanted to get a guest for this episode. So I reached out to that guy's manager, Stephen Tobolowsky, who plays Sandy Ryerson, but he ghosted me. So, maybe we'll get him, maybe we won't. But I did try to surprise you.
Again.
I did try to surprise you. Could you imagine if we turned on Zoom and Sandy Ryerson was there?
I wonder what he's like in real person. I hope he's just as gay. Because we're like,
I don't think he is.
Oh, no?
No. I don't think he's gay in real life.
We're like, we stand your weird, creepy-ass character.
So Sandy's...
We're going to try again.
Yeah. Sandy's in the teacher's lounge, and Will says, aren't you not allowed on school property anymore? And he says, no, I'm not allowed within 50 feet of children. There's a difference, Will. So basically they're all there to celebrate the return of the woodshop teacher who gets high on Sudafed and cut his thumbs off by accident. Henri.
And then we actually see like that scene, like the flashback, like him cutting wood high, and then and then it's like and then there's this like bit throughout all of him, this character on his one episode that he's in, of him just like drinking coffee with no thumbs.
Yeah,
I thought that's like my stupid ass like humor. I'm like, haha.
So we find out that Sandy got Henri the woodshop job, I guess, because Sandy said that I'm gonna put this quote in because it's a Sandy quote, and obviously I'll butcher it.
Besides, Henri and I go way back. I got him a job before we even had a shop class. In fact, I told Figgins that you are going to have a school full of Nancys unless you get some hot wood in those teenagers' hands.
Oh my God. I know, it's like, I can't believe he just like he just says it.
So this band of misfits is in the room. It's Ken, Will, Henri the woodshop teacher, Sandy Ryerson, and then Will says that that Terry was supposed to bring a cake for Henri's return, but then we see what's his name?
What is his name? His name is not Ken.
No, it's
he's Terry's employee friend.
How did we forget his name? Howard,
yeah, that's it.
So Howard comes with the cake because Terry couldn't make it, and the cake has two giant thumbs on it, and it's like way to go or something on it, something completely inappropriate. So they eat the cake. It's a sad moment.
It's a sad ass cake.
It's a sad ass cake.
That cake looks like 70%. Like you really did try, but you just didn't execute it well.
Yeah.
So Terry.
And then they all talk about how awful life is, how awful their life is.
Sandy mentions at this point that he writes Desperate Housewives fan fiction, and I was like,
Ken lives in the YMCA.
I know, it's like,
and then Will's like, I can't dance. It's like,
and then
that's
the guy's
what we're
like,
talking
I
about?
literally lost both of my thumbs.
Yeah.
Henri's like, I lost
Shut the
thumbs.
fuck up.
Like, and then it's just like a total bro moment in the teacher's lounge.
Yeah.
With two people that shouldn't be in a high school.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're not a teacher.
And then they sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow to cheer up Henri, and they realize that they can harmonize pretty well together as they sing this song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Will then breaks the fourth wall. Only 3 episodes in, and we're already breaking the fourth wall. And he sings This Is How We Do It to the camera, which was the cringiest moment of the episode for me. And honestly, might even be the most problematic.
I know. It's like, why during this whole, all the acapella songs, you know, like their little group, it's weird to me. It's like, why are you trying to make Will do the rap songs?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think the most frustrating thing about this episode is not that these white guys are all singing rap songs the entire episode, but they put one of the best songs of the entire series, an R&B song, Bust the Windows Out Your Car, in this episode, surrounded just by trash covers of other R&B and rap songs.
Yeah, I was like, I think
borderline
they just
offensive.
They buried this. Yeah, offensive for many reasons.
Yeah.
Mostly my ears.
Yeah. My ears were offended. So we jump into this montage of these guys now suddenly forming a boy band.
I know, they're rehearsing in fucking Will's living room, right?
Yeah.
And then they're all trying to come up with like, they're like, well, we should keep this going. Like, what sort of name can we name this group? And then they come up with the name for the episode, Acafellas.
Yeah. And then Terry comes out and yells at them because she says, if I don't get enough sleep, I could miscarry.
Oh, God.
And then we cut to Will saying that him being in a boy band and them rehearsing so much for some reason has turned Terry on, and now they have sex all the time. But really, Terry's just trying to actually get pregnant now.
Yeah.
And it's not happening for her.
I know. I'm like, oof. That's so fucked up. Just take the sex, Will. Take the Terry sex. They also kick Sandy out of the group.
Oh, yeah.
This point too. Yeah. Because they're like, it's so rude. It's like, well, not rude, because whatever. Actually, he is like just like a pedophile.
He is a
character,
pedophile,
but we stand for him. He's like, you. But it's like you. If you in this group is creepy, you gotta go, and they just like literally kick him out. And I was like, oh, okay.
Poor Sandy.
Bye.
He was so excited. His little suit.
I know. He was really excited. The next we see is Rachel going into the choir room, and she actually presents Will in the choir room with some sugar cookies, and it says, I'm sorry. Basically for calling him out. She could tell that he was offended.
Yeah.
Oh, but Will is like really high off of his Acafellas debut.
Yeah.
And he has like this, in my eyes, like false confidence, and so he's just kind of like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Rachel is trying to get Will back because all of a sudden, now that Will has Acafellas, he hasn't become in a Glee Club as much. Which, like, the first 2 episodes were all about how important Glee Club was to him, how much he'd give up. He had took second jobs. He was cleaning toilets. And then all of a sudden, he has the Acafellas, and now he doesn't even go to Glee Club practice anymore. Like, that's what this whole fucking thing was about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He has false confidence in this. And he's like, well, look, now I'm performing. Now I'm happy. I'm running with this. And that's just, you know, that's just who Will is.
Yeah, so basically Finn is like, you know, obviously he doesn't want to come help us. You tore him down. You shit on his confidence. You told him he sucked. And why would he want to come back and help us after that? So they all agree, well, we need to keep going. So they want to hire Dakota.
Everybody basically blames Rachel at this point, and this is the first of many times that she gets, you know, kind of pushed into something by the Cheerios.
Yeah.
Or Quinn. Quinn? Yeah, mm-hmm. Quinn. And then she just gets turned around and everyone just starts blaming her because she's a really easy target too.
Yeah. Then we see a Rachel and Finn scene. Rachel's basically just like, I want to win. So if Will's not going to help us, then we need to get Dakota, who will help us win. And winning is the most important thing to her. And I think that she's been consistent with that since the beginning. This is what she's looking for. She wants a Glee Club that can help her reach her star. That's a clear mission for her, you know?
Yeah. She says like this is my one shot. You know, this is my talent.
Yeah, but under all of this, under this aggression that she has about winning, we clearly see the tension from them two because they kissed in the last episode, and they can't do anything about it because Finn is with Quinn, and Rachel knows that they both want each other, but they can't have each other because he has Quinn.
And Rachel's focusing on her career, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Like, leave her alone. You can't have both.
Yeah.
Finn.
So he says, well, what if you get Dakota, what if I quit? And she says, I know. Basically, I don't care. I go, bye.
And she says she says that she has to think about it, you know, but she's like, okay.
And then we cut to Sue and the Cheerios. They're checking in. Sue is happy that they're doing exactly what they planned to do, which was, you know, cause division in the Glee Club. And that's exactly what they're doing. Sue wants her full budget back. She says, bitch, I need a fog machine.
Well, my first thing in this scene is like, where is Brittany? Because Brittany's like, was at least in that office last.
Brittany is in this episode somewhere, but she's not in this yet. Because Brittany actually, it's the next episode. Yeah, it's the next episode where she's actually pulled in more because it's the Single Ladies episode that's next. And that was like her first breakout.
Oh, really?
Episode.
Oh, okay.
Because she was on tour with Beyonce. Like, so she knew how to do the Single Ladies dance because she did it on tour with her. So I think they brought her on camera to make it look more authentic with the whole situation. And then they were like, oh, she's good. Let's keep her. So then we cut to Mercedes with Kurt, right?
Yeah, Mercedes is talking to Kurt.
I wrote Mercedes is horny.
Locker. Okay. Yeah. Well, Mercedes is basically watching Santana and Puck kiss, like romantically in the hallway. This is our first time we see those two characters together. And then Kurt comes up to her at her locker, and basically they start talking about the longing to kiss someone.
Yeah. And how they both haven't kissed anyone yet. They're both looking for a relationship, but they both know that they're bottom of the barrel. Kurt says, special ed kids get more play than us.
He does say that. Okay, then Kurt basically mentions that because then they start talking about clothes, and he says every moment of your life is a fashion opportunity. Yeah. So he's trying to like hype up Mercedes in this like cutie gay way, and then Mercedes like doesn't pick up on it.
Awful gaydar, and is not picking up on it. So when her and Kurt split, the Cheerios, Santana and Quinn, come up to Mercedes now. And they're like cartoon villains at this point. They're like popping up in the corner of the screen, like
yeah. They're like, we're fucking with everyone.
Yeah, so it was like a very smooth transition from Kurt exiting to them grabbing Mercedes, and they're like, you should go for it. Like, yeah, definitely
go for Kurt.
Definitely get your heart smashed by that queer.
I know, and she starts falling for it.
Yeah.
And we'll see, because I have opinions about this random ass storyline. So we next see the acapellas at a dive bar, singing Poison. Whew, that girl is I love that song. Everybody loves that song. And then I was just like,
Poison.
Hit that 30, hit that 30, hit that 30. I'm skipping all of this.
I was like,
I'm not dealing with it.
Full number, so
then the next thing that I see after skipping a little bit, I'm like, oh, his parents are there.
Yeah.
And his parents, and then so his dad's excited that, you know,
they're all proud of him. Mom's drunk off her ass, though, because they're selling the Acapella CDs at the back of the bar. We also see that Figgins is really into this. Figgins, of course, is there. Figgins loves every single musical number, that little bitch.
Yeah. He's in it.
And then Emma's there, and she's really turned on by Will. Terry kind of catches this a little bit.
Yeah. She picks up on it.
And but Emma's like, yay, Ken, that's what I'm cheering for. So then we see that Figgins at the end of it is like, great job, Will. I want you to perform at the PTA. Because the parents are really upset with me because I've been feeding their kids prison food. So maybe this performance will help.
But that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Prison food and high school cafeteria food, I'm sure, is like a very similar thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very similar quality.
With different budgets. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that... Yeah, that's just my opinion.
That's just my side opinion on prison food.
I just don't know. You know, as I was saying it, I was like,
of course, Andrew has opinions on prison food.
I'm on a podcast. Come on.
I'm supposed to have
It's basically
opinions.
my job. But like, I've never been in prison, so sorry if that offended anyone.
No, it's okay.
The next thing we see is so Kurt rolls up in this nice sort of fancy ass.
Nope.
Oh wait. I'm sorry, I skipped a lot.
You sure did, bitch.
I'm such a messy top right now.
So the next,
I'm very versed. I don't know if you know that. I might have started off as a bottom, but
yeah, you keep
I
saying
have a nice-
top, and I'm like, then I'll let this bitch think whatever she wants, but I know the truth.
People really like my dick, and I like the top too.
Well,
so
good.
I want you to know, I have grown. I'm almost 29, and I'm very versed.
None of this is going in the podcast.
I know. Imagine, it's like we're actually at porn.
You're like, I don't want to talk about
We're an
smoking, but by the way, eating ass.
We're actually an OnlyFans review.
Oh my god, that's our next podcast.
That would be amazing. It's too expensive though.
So we cut to the teacher's lounge where they're reading positive reviews of their performance as the Acapellas.
Oh, Will loves it. Will's so fucking excited.
So excited for
this.
these little tiny paper reviews. But then Sandy enters.
Sandy enters the lounge again.
Yes.
He's just still
He's
on
back
school
on
property
campus.
at this point. and he's basically kind of like trying to get them back in the group, and then he starts mentioning Josh Groban, which is like, wow.
He says he's friends with Josh Groban after Josh Groban accidentally friended him on MySpace. Still in the MySpace era of things here. Netflix isn't even a blip on the radar as far as streaming goes. And we're still talking about MySpace.
They're reading a newspaper, let's be honest.
That's true, yeah. So basically, Sandy says, Josh Groban is my friend and he will come to our performance at the PTA only if I'm in the band. So let me in the band, and we'll have Josh Groban come, and just think what that could do for the group.
Yeah, because Josh is looking for an opening act.
Yeah,
that's how he sells this, and then their ears kind of perk up with that.
Yeah.
The other guys.
So now Sandy is in the group.
I guess.
Yeah.
That happened fast.
Yeah. All you need is Josh Groban. Sandy says something in this scene that is my favorite line almost of the entire series, I think. It's something I quote all the time. It's something I quote with you all the time because I feel like we kind of like heard it at the same time. I don't know.
Sure.
But when they're like, who is Josh Groban? Sandy turns to Omri or Ken or whoever says it and is like,
stop right there, William. I've got 2 words for you. Josh Groban. He's coming to the PTA event.
Who is Josh Groban?
Who is Josh Groban? Kill yourself.
Which is something I quote all the time.
You do.
I don't know why.
You really actually.
But that
he's
line.
Not lying America and other countries.
Like out of nowhere. There's never any context. No one ever talks about Josh Groban around me. I just say it. Because when I heard that line for the first time, it threw me so fucking hard that like because I had to have heard it, when it came out. Like that had to have been the first time in 2009. When he said that, it just caught me off guard so fucking much that I don't think I laughed harder in my life. And just because of that and his delivery, I just said it all the time.
Oh, that's so funny. I hear it in my head. Actually, you saying that all the time. My mom, I think, really liked Josh Groban. I don't know what he has ever sang in his whole entire life, but
he's a mom person.
Yeah. Okay. Like Bruno Mars' mom, or like
Michael Bublé.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But remember this was like a big get for Glee at the time or something.
I mean, it was the first pop star on the show, right?
I remember seeing him in promo stuff, basically, like his behind the stage thing. Like they definitely used him to promote. So whatever.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure in 2009, Josh Groban was huge.
He's like, yeah.
Then we cut to the Glee Club getting out of Kurt's Escalade as they head to Vocal Adrenaline's practice to see if Dakota Stanley will also help them with their choreography.
Kurt's Escalade, first off, why do you have an Escalade? You're not
Yeah.
any sort of rich. But it also has spinners on
Yeah.
it, too. Which is like...
Very 2009.
I love the way that spinners look, just like as a visual. I'm just like, oh, that's so fun. And you have to be very confident to have them.
Sure.
But I was like, Kurt, don't even, girl.
No.
But as they're walking out, Mercedes is kind of like, hey, Kurt, you know, she's like...
flirty, puts her arms in his arms. But Kurt has a very funny line here.
Damn, Kurt, this car is fly.
My dad got it for my sweet 16 after I swore to stop wearing form-fitting sweaters that stop at the knee. What he doesn't know doesn't hurt him.
So then we cut to we follow them as they walk up to the auditorium, and we see two vocal adrenaline girls outside vomiting because one has heat exhaustion, and she's like, you can't just quit because you have heat exhaustion. And Rachel's like, I'm here to talk to Dakota about choreographing us. And the girl looks up from the trash can and says, he's a monster. You don't want to do this. Don't do it. Run away.
I know, yeah, don't at all.
And then we smash cut to Vocal Adrenaline's second performance of the series, where they perform Mercy by Duffy. And it's very, very similar to the Rehab performance. It seems pretty one note.
Same, yeah.
But the one thing I noticed...
I was just going to say, and they're wearing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Like the blue dress, that's all I can picture, too. So I was just like, wait, I actually had to like rethink about it. I'm like, no. No.
My one thing from the scene, the takeaway from this performance is like, where is Jesse? Because we're 3 episodes in. He's a member of Vocal Adrenaline. He's the main star of it. And we've seen 2 performances, one at a competition, and he wasn't even in it.
No.
Big plot hole here, folks.
Oh, they couldn't afford him. Come on.
Not for background. You kidding me?
Not for background? No, he's starring.
So then they finally see Dakota, and they ask him to take over choreographing them, but he wants $8,000 to do it. And they don't have that, obviously. They can barely afford to rent their own auditorium.
I know. So they're like, how are we going to get $8,000?
Yeah. So that's what and then we cut to the Cheerios looking suspicious, like, we'll help them. Like,
I know. We're going to support them. You know?
So then we cut to Acapellas practice again.
Yeah. Here we go. We're back with the acapellas. Let me tell you, this was the slog scenes of this episode to me.
Well, let me ask you a question since it's schloggy. Do you find Henri cute? Because I'm kind of into Henri.
Oh, yeah. I did notice that he was cute. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cute, but I don't know if I would fuck him.
I would. Henri could get it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh.
That's surprising.
Oh. He's not a boring white guy, but he is, though, right?
I know.
He's French?
Well, French. He's French. So
white.
Something. That's something. In this, Howard quits.
Yeah.
And why does he quit?
It was never my dream.
I know. It's just like,
I feel like it was Terry
Howard
making him quit. I feel like that scene was shot so it was supposed to pan over and see Terry forcing him to quit, but it didn't.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute. Oh, why?
So that's maybe possible, but maybe he just did. I mean, maybe, he's not a very extrovert person, so maybe he just did quit. And then Henri OD'd on cough syrup again.
And that message is delivered by Emma, who walks in, and she's like,
Yeah.
I got bad news. Oh, because they're rehearsing not in his living room, but in the choir room that they can't afford.
Yeah.
So
it's just
she
Will
says
and Ken.
that as well.
Yeah.
And that he's also going to rehab.
Yes.
So
he won't be back for a while.
So basically, Will is left with who? Sandy?
Just Ken and Sandy, I guess. But Sandy's at the hospital with Henri. But Ken is like, I need this. I need this to have something in my life. So they he's like, we need to figure this out. So Emma tells Will not to quit, not to give up. Keep the dream alive, because it gets her wet.
it gets her wop.
Yeah.
That's gonna age well.
Mm-hmm.
So then, Finn. We see next Finn talking to Will. They have a nice relationship. I always like when they talk. Like it's sort of like Finn really needs Will and respects him and loves him already, and he's saying like, I'm thinking about quitting Glee Club now that you're not really around that much.
Yeah, he says it's not fun anymore because Rachel's basically running it, and it's, horrible.
Yeah, he says that Rachel is going chick baddie at this point. And
it's how Finn explains every way that any woman reacts to him.
But it's just especially funny in this episode since it's such a male-heavy episode. It's just like there's not one girl power moment. It's very un-Ryan.
Yeah, because even Mercedes is like has a beard storyline.
Yeah, I mean Mercedes' storyline is so annoying. It's so fucked up. You're gonna make her basically a stereotype for the first 2 episodes, and then in the 3rd episode, you're gonna make her like
a blind fucking like desperate bitch. I don't know.
But you know what? She did this, or that was even a storyline, in my opinion, to more prop up Kurt's coming out storyline that's coming because of the ending. But then again, use Tina. Don't use your powerhouse vocal, beautiful woman,
If they would have used Tina for that, 2 things would have happened in the future. One, either they couldn't have used Tina in the Blaine storyline when she like vapor rapes him, or
oh my god, my eyes are rolling out of my head.
Or they could, and it would make more sense that she is just like always goes for the gay guy. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think it's just it's rude to do that to begin with, even though there's some truth in there for both the vapor rape. I can't. What she did though.
So basically,
we'll talk about this storyline later.
Finn isn't happy, but so Will decides, I know what will make him happy. So Will asks him to join the Acafellas because he needs people, and Finn can barely dance and sing. So why not join our all-male teacher after hours dance thing where we perform in bars?
Sure. Let's just get this going now. This is always going to be a creepy relationship where you're my best friend.
Yeah. And then Puck talks to Ken at the same time because Puck knows that these Acapella performances are bringing out a lot of MILFs, and that's something that Puck is very into.
Yeah.
So Puck asks to join, and Ken agrees. So now they have Puck and Finn in the Acafellas.
Also at this point, Puck of notice is he has a VO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he basically has his own little scene where he's shirtless and showing his abs, and he's a little pool boy, and probably fucks the housewife.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Santana also breaks up with him because of his credit score, which good for you, Santana. So he's
Even though 17. Wouldn't he not have a credit score?
He already has credit cards. We know this.
He's 40.
He's actually 40. He has a mohawk. But basically, and then I remember watching this episode when it came out. I was like, oh my God, Puck's hot. And now it's like, it's just not. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah. No.
And but this also, interestingly enough, like this whole little VO moment is interesting because it establishes in episode 3 that he has a thing for older women, which like pays off in a horrible way later on.
Sure. And in real life, it's the opposite.
Oh,
moving
Idina
on.
Menzel, you deserve better than that storyline.
Finn and Puck go to dance rehearsals with Will, and it's a scene that basically just lets us see that Will knows how to teach dance to amateurs. Even if it is amateur dance moves, he knows how to help people find what works for them. He's a good teacher, essentially.
Sure.
Maybe he's not the greatest dancer, but he's a good teacher. So he can teach them how to be more comfortable as dancers, and that's basically what this scene is. And it just shows that Finn, or that Will can teach them well, and that Finn and Puck like being taught by him.
It's basically like, white boys, you gotta loosen up your hips.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. This is how you loosen up your hips. And they're like this? It's like, is this from the 1950s? Like, what is this shit? So, but
you realize how limited they are in some of these things. But yeah.
Oh, that was a real nice shade.
So then we cut to Rachel and Tina, who corner Mercedes and tell her, hey, you're barking up the wrong tree, woman. Kurt is gay.
They
and
call
Mercedes,
it a gay intervention.
Yeah. And Mercedes is like, he's not gay. And Rachel's like, he wore a corset to second period.
She's in denial. But she's in denial because Mercedes is lonely. And she has misplaced feelings, you know, of like... Because relationships nonetheless are relationships, whether it be with a straight person and a gay one. Yeah. And sometimes you just have to like conquer that idea of love. It's like the same. I think it's kind of like the same thing with two gay guys. There's always like it's like it's like that Family Guy clip of like when Peter's having fight with an alley cat, and you're just kind of circling, and you're like, and that's how I feel when I establish like a new relationship with a gay guy. It's like, okay, so there's an attraction at base level here, so then you have to conquer that. And same thing with Mercedes being so lonely, you know, and then she gets this new relationship with Kurt, so she's blinded by that feeling, and then she just has to, you know, conquer it. But this storyline came out of fucking nowhere. Yeah,
but she says, did it. She says, what if we can't do any better? Like, what if I can't do any better? She's tired of being lonely. Like, she's so tired of being lonely that she's like, all right, maybe I will fucking be in a relationship with this gay guy, because guess what? Then I won't be lonely, you know? I feel like that's kind of part of it for her. At this point, after the intervention, at least, you know? She's like, well, you know what? Honestly, like, fuck it. I'm not alone, you know? And also, part of her, I think because Kurt's so nice and they hang out, part of her does think Kurt does like her.
Remember when we had an intervention, though?
Oh, my God. We can't talk about that one here.
I mean, we can't talk about that. It wasn't for any of us. I will say that. Because, you know. But, like...
But if we're lucky, one day it will be.
But the drama of the intervention, though, classic. Amazing.
What a weekend.
Don't even say that. But really, what a weekend. Okay.
Every time I see the Chicago Bean, I think of it.
Yeah, you need to come back to Chicago.
I'm never coming back there again.
Let's redo the Bean.
Let's have a new Bean experience.
Yeah, like, okay. Oh, Lord.
Okay, so then we cut to the Glee Club car wash. This is what the Cheerios decided to do to help them get the $8,000 for Dakota.
Yep.
And Sue is there, and Emma's, you know, thanking Sue for being so nice and helping them. And she goes,
"Oh, excited. I love a car wash too, though, you know. When I was little, if I got all A's, my dad would let me wash his car, so I'd get my little toothbrush out and I'd clean it all weekend long."
You know, the way you use your mental illness to help these kids is really inspiring. And I'm shocked you're not married.
She just goes for it right away, and it's like, that's what I thought was maybe like the it's maybe not problematic, but like the most like noticeable line.
Yeah.
In this episode, and of course it came from Sue.
Yeah. And then we cut to Kurt and Mercedes finally bites the bullet, and she's like, Kurt, what are we doing here? Like, shouldn't we make this official? And he says, I'm sorry, I don't have feelings for you like that. I'm in love with someone else. And she turns to see Finn, but then Rachel pops up. So really he's looking at Finn, but Mercedes thinks he's looking at Rachel because she's still somehow blind to all this.
I thought that was a cute editing little moment, sort of, or however it was shot. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
And then she decides to pick up a giant rock and throw it through his windshield.
Yeah.
Because how else are we going to transition into bust the windows out your car?
How else are we going to get Mercedes to have a solo song? God, instead of bust the windows out your car. Mercedes looks really good here. For once, I think, so far, she doesn't look like absolute trash. Like, so she just kind of showed up to this car wash singing Ready. You know what I mean? Like, she's beat. She has a cute little red outfit on.
Yeah. This is, I think, definitely one of the best songs of the first season, but possibly the entire series. This is one of my favorite songs.
But right now I don't care about that part. I bust the windows out your car. Hey. After I saw you looking right at her, I didn't wanna, but I took my turn. I'm glad I did it 'cause you had to learn. Hey.
love the original song by Jasmine Sullivan, and I love Mercedes. I downloaded both actually when after I watched this episode, because I remember when I first listened to that song overall, it was just like, it's such a great song.
Yeah. So after she performs that and brings down the house, Kurt says, "You busted my window," and she says, "You busted my heart."
Wait, so was that performance a real performance, or was that a daydream?
That was a fantasy.
Oh, okay. Because when she's performing, the Cheerios are there, looking hella sexy, hella snatched. You know, like, and they are twerking on the cars before maybe twerking was even a thing. Yeah. You know, and then okay, but basically my confusion is, I thought since it was a fantasy that she actually didn't bust out his car window, and then when it cut to it, I was like, oh wait, so I kind of got like tripped up on what was going on.
No,
but okay.
Imagine she busted his windows and actually just started singing, and he had to watch her.
Oh, I'm glad they didn't.
And then we cut to Dakota. He's in McKinley. He's handing out personalized menus to all of the Glee Club members so they can get their ass in shape for his choreography plan.
Oh, okay. So it basically is crash diets.
Yeah.
You know, for all of them.
Okay, please examine your personalized menus. This is where you're going to be eating for the next 6 months.
Mine just says coffee.
What's smelt?
A pungent, low-carb, freshwater fish. Okay, let's start with today's business. Artie, you're cut. You're not trying hard enough.
At what?
At walking. Can't be wheeling you around during every number. It throws off the whole dynamic, and it's depressing.
So you're kicking him out?
Also you. You just gotta go, Effie. Oh, no.
You can't kick people out of Glee Club because you don't like the way they look.
Why don't you shut your face gash and stay away from aerosol cans, because you could burst into flames at any second. You three, you're great. You're perfect. Seriously, don't change a thing. You, nose job.
No, just hold on a second.
What was that, Frankentine? Why don't you wipe that dopey look off your face and get some lotion for those knuckles you've been dragging on the ground?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me is that you're freakishly tall. I feel like a woodland creature. Am I hurting your feelings? Did I say something wrong? Because I thought you wanted somebody who respected you enough to tell you the truth. But maybe you don't have the confidence to hear it. Maybe you need somebody who's going to lie to you and tell you things like, you got what it takes. But you know what? As far as I can see, you don't. So, why don't you just take a little second, take a breather, and ask yourself, do I want to be a winner or not?
Screw this. I quit.
Me too. Let's roll, Artie.
I think his little spiel is, how do I say it? It's probably the most problematic moment of the episode.
Not in 2020, hunty.
Yes, not, Do we have the clip yet? Do we know what we're saying? But basically after that, everybody quits but Rachel and the Cheerios.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm standing with my girls. But then...
Yeah, but she's like, you should get he tells Rachel to get a nose job. And as they're all quitting, Rachel's like, you know what? No. Barbara Streisand. And they're all like, what? What'd you say?
Yeah.
And she just goes off about how everyone wanted Barbara Streisand to get a nose job, and she told them no, and now she's, one of the biggest superstars in the world. Finn talks about a one-arm pitcher that threw a no-hitter. People talk about, people with no legs and with disabilities.
J-Lo had too big of a booty.
Yeah. So basically they're like, fighting this devil with positive words. And then Rachel ends up firing him. And she says, we're going to win because we're different. We're special. That's what makes this Glee Club different from Vocal Adrenaline, is we're not a polished group. We're a group that has heart and character and performs well.
To me, this was the Ryan Murphy moment of the episode as well.
Ryan!
Yeah, I think so, because, all right, crazy, fast-talking bigot says crazy stuff, and then, you come up with it with misfit stories. You know? That's how we're going to counteract this, and we're going to win because we're special. all of that's like so Glee and so Ryan to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, okay. On top of being not in 2020 Hunty moment.
Wow, a combined Ryan Murphy and not in 2020 Hunty moment.
Ding, ding, ding.
First time ever. But then we cut to the Acafellas performance at the PTA meeting, and Josh Groban is there in the audience, ready to watch them.
And then they sing a song. I skipped.
They sing "I Wanna Sex You Up" by Color Me Bad for the PTA. I wanna sex
so
you up.
It just doesn't even make sense.
Not at all.
Then,
but Figgins loves it.
Always. Then we go backstage. Sandy's there. He has flowers. He's talking to Figgins about something. Then Josh Groban actually
flowers he bought for himself.
And then Josh Groban actually goes backstage and he's like, I'm not really here to support you. I'm here because you got to stop whatever. Hiding in my bushes at night.
Yeah.
I forget what he actually says.
Basically, Sandy's been sending him hair. He's been sending him nudes. Turns out Sandy's just been stalking Josh Groban. So Josh Groban is actually there to give Sandy a restraining order. He's not there to see their performance. Which kind of throws Sandy. And yeah, thank God somebody actually got him away from them. So this kind of crushes them. Their whole thing was like, oh, Josh Groban's going to be here. We're going to be discovered. We're going to be his opening act. But really, he's just there to catch a predator.
Ooh, bitch.
Ooh, crossover.
Good one. Josh Groban caught that predator.
So we cut outside. Terry's walking Will to the car, and she apologizes for not being so supportive. She says, she sees that he's crushed by the whole Josh Groban thing of it all. So, he's upset about that. But then we see Victor Garber, and he's proud of Will. He's like, you did it. You went after your dream, just like me. And he tells Will that he's joining a law school, and he's going to go after his law degree after all.
Yep. He's
inspired by his son.
Yeah, full circle.
And if he can inspire his dad, he can inspire his future son or daughter. Or
and
fake
that's
child.
all Will really needs. Yeah. This, fake child.
We also see a little side scene that Josh Groban is hitting on Will's drunk mom. And apparently he has a thing for drunk housewives.
Oh my God. I know, but she was hitting on him too. She was like, she burps at some point. And I was like, that's so fucking funny.
And the way he's looking at her, it's really funny. Josh Groban's actually he's in Parks and Rec. And is he in The Office? Yeah, he's in The Office. He plays Ed Helms' brother. So I feel like this was like, he does these little cute little comedic performances that are pretty funny.
Sure, no, because it was really funny.
Yeah. But Will also tells his dad that he's happy being a teacher. He's glad he got to perform for a few weeks, but this is what he wants, and being a teacher is enough for him, which is good because him just giving up the Glee Club so easily earlier in the episode, kind of made me question his motives. But this was his first test into is this really what he